I haven't responded to a lot of your questions since I moved, so today we're gonna sit down and we're gonna catch up a little bit because I definitely have gotten a lot of questions about my whole moving process and about my Lego collection and just how things are going in my life. So I wanted to sit down and share that with you today. But before we get started, this video is sponsored very kindly by Whatnot, so we will get to them later. But for now, our first question is from Davey, who asked, what is the biggest cultural change from Australia to America? This one's not really a culture change, but one thing that really frustrates me is shopping carts here. When I go to Target and I pick up the cart, the wheels can only go forward in one direction. And then if you're like in the Lego aisle, for instance, and then a family like comes around, you have to like wedge and rotate your cart. That's so frustrating. If you've been to IKEA, you will know the beauty of international shopping carts and how the wheels are 360. It's so much better. Why have American shopping carts not been updated? It's such a simple thing. What are we doing? Next up from Gage Roberts, he wants to know, is it better to sell off or just break down sets you're no longer interested in displaying? I personally have two different attitudes towards this because I feel like there are some sets where you just don't really have the space for it, or maybe it's been on your shelf for a really long time. You just got something that's like newer that you'd rather put out instead. And then there are the sets where like you just can't be bothered to have it on your shelf anymore. And I think those ones, just go ahead and sell them. If it's something that like you just don't have space for, I would probably keep it because there are some cases where you might get a new shelf or something and you could pull it back out, or it's something that you are like emotionally attached to or just like really enjoy. Like I have sets like that, like the new Dumbstrung ship is one of them. And with a lot of the stuff that I did kind of like have on me, like old minifigures that I've just like hung around to and just really don't care about anymore, I ended up selling them on my first couple of Whatnot streams that I did once I moved, and it was really fun. I'm glad I got rid of them. I just feel like my collection is so much better and cleaner and more refined now, and a large part of that is because I went through everything before I moved. So if you're taking a set off your shelf and you just really don't care about it, I would definitely sell it. Get yourself some cash, buy some new sets. Unless you are particularly interested in building mocks, then I would break it down and like part it out instead. But going back to Whatnot, I have been getting rid of things in my collection by doing a couple of live streams recently, and I have another one coming up this weekend with just a couple of minifigures and a few old sets that I've got lying around that I am still looking to get rid of. So if you want to go and check out the things that I've got for sale, be sure to bookmark the live stream, as I'll be going live on Sunday the 31st of July at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'll also be doing a couple of giveaways during the stream, including giving away one of these Lego Star Wars Pirate Snub Fighters. So if you're interested in looking for a couple of cool things Lego wise or other collectible wise, or if you're interested in selling off some of your collection, be sure to check out Whatnot, and you can use the invite link in the description down below. Thank you again to Whatnot for sponsoring this video, and let's continue on. Drew wants to know what my favorite Fortnite outfit is. Now, I re-downloaded this game for the first time like 2 days ago. I have yet to play it, and as soon as I logged back in, I switched my skin back to the Padme Amidala one. I'm pretty sure I got gifted this. I also have Anakin, and I feel like between those two, they are my favorites. In terms of regular Fortnite skins, I love Aura, and I really hope to see her pop up in one of the Lego sets these days. I was a little bit bummed that she wasn't in the battle bus, but if you do buy anything for the Fortnite item shop, I thought this would be a really good time to promote my Fortnite code, which is code HollyOnFilm, or just use anyone's creator code. It doesn't even have to be mine. Just enter something. Jack asked, was the US move career driven, more opportunities outside Oz? Absolutely. That is like the main reason, outside of the fact that I've always wanted to move overseas, and I have so many friends throughout the US. I mean, not all of them are in Florida. There's a couple of them, but definitely career driven. I feel like with social media, like everyone knows that it's a thing, but outside of the US, I feel like it's not the same. I think the closest is the UK. In Australia, it happens, but I find that like you kind of just stick within Australia. Like I do not see Australian like TikTokers specifically get shown to me anymore since moving, which like just opens my eyes to the fact that, hey, if I stayed in Australia, just from like in general being shown your content to like people overseas, it's likely not gonna happen, let alone the other opportunities that have already come my way in like 3 months since living here. Like for example, a couple of weeks ago, I got one from like one of my dream companies. And when I was reading through the email, like it says like, you have to be US based. That wouldn't have happened without it. I even just feel like my confidence filming outside has gone up a lot just because it's so much more normalized in the US. And I think for me, at least, it does help a lot that the Lego store that I go to is Disney Springs. Like it is Disney. There are so many Disney vloggers around. I mean, like I'm trying to become one at this point. So I feel really, really comfortable in like the Disney World bubble and like that type of area. Anthony wants to know what my predictions for Revenge of the Sith sets are for next year. I mean, first off, I guess rumor-wise, we've already had the Arc 170. The only other set that I remember from those like winter rumors was Ahsoka's Starfighter. In terms of the rest of the sets, I know that this is such a common one, but it just would not make sense for them to do a Revenge of the Sith line without redoing the Jewel on Mustafar. I love that set. I love that scene. And like there are literally like Jewel on Mustafar Christmas decorations that exist. They cannot do a like Revenge of the Sith anniversary year and like not do that. I just feel like Disney themselves would want to promote that scene. Alongside that, I mean, I would love to see a Jedi temple, but I don't necessarily see them doing one unless it's like a minifigureless diorama. I would also love to see like an Anakin's Interceptor UCS set. I think that would be really cool. Or do like Anakin and Obi-Wan, like something from the opening battle would be really fun. I don't see them doing anything Venator. I can definitely see them doing a buildable General Grievous as well, since they do like doing those like buildable character things, but I don't think we're gonna get tons of Revenge of the Sith sets. I really feel like it's gonna be kind of limited to 5 or 6. But that being said, I am very excited for the Revenge of the Sith re-release. I really hope it gets as much hype as the Phantom Menace one did this year, because I have loved every second of that. In terms of Most Wanted though, a Revenge of the Sith UCS set, just in general, anything really. And I think prediction wise, it has to be a Jewel on Mustafar set. There's no way they're not doing that. Firebro Bricks wants to know what are some of my favorite YouTubers to watch outside of the Lego niche. I have a couple. My first one, Mike's Mike. Love him. Australian like commentary creator. Does a lot of like pop culture-y films. Like I love the ones that he did on Scooby-Doo. I watched this like Cars one years ago. Fantastic. Love him. Drew Gooden, absolute favorite. Every single time he uploads a video, I will watch it no matter what it is. I love him. I think he's hilarious. The one that he recently did on like the Cybertruck was hilarious. I showed it to my dad and he loved it too. Then in terms of books, we have the Trinity being Hayley Pham, Destiny Sidwell, and Sarah Caroli. I love them. Ryan Trahan's another one. He's quite inspirational. And also my friend Sans on his channel, Sansish. Like those 100 days of vlogs, incredible. And also, again, like Ryan Trahan, very inspiring in terms of like the way that I should shoot videos. And then there's also one Disney vlogger that I watch, Pixie Dusted Phoebe, who, like the book girls, I like just putting on in the background and then like doing something else too. I love watching her for like food recommendations, because she'll go and try a bunch of the things at Disney World and just like getting a whole like bigger gist of it. Paulo Lopez wants to know what my thoughts are on the Lego Wicked sets and if I'm excited for the movie. I am very excited for the movie. I had on my list of things to do was like build something Wicked related in November for the movie, and I will still do that. And at this point, I'm only planning on buying one of the sets, and it is the big kind of Emerald Palace. The rest of them are pretty fun, but like for me, I don't need them all. Like I feel like I would just get one and then build the rest myself. But when it comes to the movie, I cannot wait. It's gonna be so fun, and I'm just really excited to see how the musical numbers translate into a movie. I mean, I just would have loved a professional recording of the stage show, but whatever. I'm very excited to see how it turns out. And I think Ariana Grande is going to be a fantastic Glinda. I will be sat in the theater opening weekend. Kaylin's coming through with an interesting question, and that is, do I ever feel like trying to get back in the Lego Ambassador program? I would be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. There have been points where I would look at it and I'd be like, maybe I should apply again. And I would think about it so much so that I started to fill out the application again. And then it got to the like submit page and I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to press the button. And there is one main reason that I have debated reapplying, as it gives people the opportunity to go and do these like cool things. Like I think the time that I was really seriously debating it was when like that Lego Fortnite event happened in New York, because in many cases when Lego does events like that, they are going to pick people only from their ambassador program. It makes sense. If you have this group of people that are tied to the company in some like way, it's not really monetary, but like they are sending you free things, and in return, like you cannot talk about certain leaks, you cannot talk about competitor products, and they kind of have some sort of ownership over you in a sense. So that's why like Lego are gonna pick from this specific group if there's a fun event like that Fortnite one, right? This isn't always the case though. Like last year, the 2K event I went to, like every other person who was invited like like was a Lego ambassador, but I was also invited on that trip, and you know, I was allowed to go, which basically means like Lego approved me in some sense. Like I'm not blacklisted, like in stuff like that. Like Lego do have to approve every single person to make sure that I guess they're like safe or happy or whatever. So when it comes to like Lego marketing, I'm all good, but like anything that's being pulled directly from the ambassadors, like I'm never gonna get chosen for that. So by not being a part of that program, like automatically there are things that I am going to be excluded from. And there was a time and point where I kind of debated like just joining just so that I could have some sort of like chance at getting those opportunities again, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Because at this point for me, not being a part of the program has allowed me to have so much freedom with what I want to do with my channel and what I want to say on my channel. Like I still do try to be very cautious and word things properly, but if I have an issue with a Lego product, like I can say that directly. I can make it funny. I can be harsh if I need to. I still want to be constructive at the end of the day because I think that is very much important. And even when I get comments in my own comment section about the videos that I make, the constructive ones are really, really helpful. But on top of that, these days, like I'm trying to transition away from reviews. Like I don't want to keep doing that. I don't want to make news content anymore. Like I just think that that's really outdated. And a lot of the time, especially during my time in the ambassador program, I feel like they defaulted to that and I just became really lazy and unoriginal and uncreative. I don't need to be first to products. I don't need to break the news. I just really don't need anything. It's more so that hey, I'd like to be included in this little bubble here so that like I can get picked for opportunities. There's no doubt that reapplying would benefit me greatly. Like getting early access to products will probably help with my growth on things like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, because then people see new things. I wouldn't have to spend as much money on Lego, which would benefit me financially. I would have access to all of these other opportunities, which would just be a really cool experience and also be an opportunity for me to show you guys something different, but also just for me for career growth. And even now when it comes to reapplying for my visa, like that would be fantastic for that. But ultimately to me, I don't want to give up that like small level, I guess, of like control that I have by not being a part of a program. But I'm also in a position where Lego as a company has approved me twice now for different things. So I can still work with them, but it's just not as likely that I'm going to be reached out to, I guess. So to summarize, yes, I have definitely thought about it, but no, I will not reapply. And Gilead8 says, what's one set you wish you brought with you from Australia? I actually had to try and tell my mom how to find this set the other day. I wish I brought my little like Disney Haunted Mansion with me, especially now that we're coming to Halloween. Like I want to put it on my little shelf. And then I like got my mom to send me a box of stuff. Like basically it was all of like my Lego Christmas ornaments and a couple of other things, but we couldn't find the container that I put it in. I have a numbered list of like every single set I own and what number container it's in, but she couldn't find the container, so I couldn't get it. Like there are so many sets that I had to leave, so I'll probably bring them back after I visit for Christmas. Summertime wants to know, what equipment do I use for filming, in particular the at-home equipment for audio? I currently have on my microphone a Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. I also use their like Video Mic Go like clip-on things, and that is what I alternate with. If I'm doing a voiceover, I will use this like HyperX Quadcast microphone. But that being said, I want to upgrade to this Shure microphone. I saw this at like a tech convention in April and I loved it, and then I convinced Firebird Bricks to get one and now he's got it and he highly recommends it. So eventually I'm gonna upgrade to this, but that's what I'm currently using. I'll leave like an Amazon affiliate link list with like everything basically that I use if you want to check it out. And I'll also put the things that I want to upgrade to on that list just so that you guys kind of have a full overview. Cody asks, am I watching Goglebox Australia season 20? It started 2 weeks ago. Was it a comfort show? It's absolutely a comfort show, and my mum didn't tell me that it had restarted. So I managed to get a VPN and I'm gonna start watching it on 10 Play today. Sort of Greg has a really good question and he says, do you build Lego for yourself still, or has content and enjoyment gone hand in hand now? I definitely do build Lego for myself, and kind of going back to my time in the ambassador program, I feel like that time period, I only reference building Lego with like working and content. Like I had to be live streaming a set, I had to review a set, like I had to get my money's worth out of the Lego basically. Whereas now it's like, no, I can actually build things just for fun. A lot of the time it still is for content, but the actual building process is for me now, whether that be a set or a mock. Like I actually recently started cracking open my like big Disney castle, and I do miss live streaming, but I feel like if I started to do that more and started to do more building live streams, I think I would kind of need to prioritize building for myself a little bit more. Like very much right now, I am just in like the building is for me phase, and I love that. Kelly Lauren wants to know what my favorite Pokemon is, and that's mostly because I like pulled out my, hold on. In the photo I put up on Instagram where I asked the questions, I like had it with my little Mega Bloks Eevee. I got this on clearance from Big W before I moved, and I love it because like I have started playing Pokemon Go again. Since I moved though, I haven't played it as much, and I think a large part of that is because I've lost the people who I would play it with, so I don't play it as much, but I still really like it. When it comes to my favorite Pokemon, I've got two, one of which is Eevee, and the other one is Ditto. But those are all of the questions today. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted one on my Instagram story, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to check out Whatnot down in the description down below. And of course, until next time, I'll see you later.